Discover the vitamin that eliminates the signs of memory loss. Hold that thought for a second. I'm going to reframe it, honestly. Discover the vitamin that can help reduce the signs of memory loss and protect the blood flow that your brain depends on. And chances are it's already in your kitchen. In the next few minutes, I'll explain how circulation and memory are connected. Name the single vitamin most closely linked to both healthier vessels and better brain support, niacin, vitamin B3, show you practical, food-first ways to add it to your day, and walk through 3 other vitamins that reinforce the same system, with clear safety notes so you stay protected while taking action. If you've started to notice little lapses, name slipping, keys misplaced more often, a sentence that disappears halfway through, you're not alone, and it's not necessarily just aging. One of the key reasons memory can falter is reduced blood flow to parts of the brain. Think of your blood vessels as a highway. When traffic slows or lanes narrow, the places at the end of that road get fewer deliveries. Oxygen, glucose, and the nutrients need to work and repair. Over time, that limited supply can make thinking feel foggier. There are early warning signs that your circulation might be struggling. Watch for persistent numbness or tingling in your hands or feet, chronically cold feet or hands even when the room is warm, cramps or pain in your legs when walking that ease with rest. That's called claudication. Visible changes in skin color, pale, bluish, or unusually mottled skin, and prominent varicose veins or swollen, aching limbs. These are signals that blood flow to tissues is reduced and that a clinical checkup is a good next step. If any of those sound familiar, pause for a moment. These signs deserve attention. If this speaks to you, like and subscribe for more practical, science-informed tips that protect both mind and heart. So what's the vitamin we're focusing on? Niacin, also known as vitamin B3, is the one most frequently linked to both vascular health and neuronal support. It's not magic, it doesn't erase memory loss, but it plays several roles that make it a go-to nutrient when you're thinking about keeping blood vessels flexible and neurons nourished. Here's how niacin helps in simple terms. First, it supports blood vessel function. Healthy vessels relax and constrict in a balanced way. When they're more flexible, blood can flow more smoothly to the brain. Niacin supports that flexibility and can help improve the balance of blood lipids, which in turn reduces factors that narrow arteries. Second, niacin is part of cellular energy chemistry. Cells in the brain rely on niacin-derived molecules to produce energy and to run repair systems. Those are small but meaningful supports for neurons under stress. Put together, better flow, better repair, and steadier metabolism, and you have a plausible pathway for how niacin may help reduce signs of memory trouble linked to vascular causes. Most people can reach the recommended baseline for niacin through food. Foods particularly rich in niacin include poultry, like chicken and turkey, fatty fish, such as salmon and tuna, lean beef, eggs, mushrooms, and certain nuts and seeds like peanuts. Try simple swaps: a palm-sized serving of grilled chicken at lunch, a can of tuna mixed into a salad, or an egg with whole grain toast at breakfast. For many adults, a dietary target in the mid-teens of milligrams per day, roughly 14 to 16 milligrams for most adults, is a common reference point. That's a general guide, and most people get a comfortable amount from sensible meals without extra supplementation. A real-world example: breakfast could be 2 eggs plus a serving of fruit. Lunch might be a chicken and spinach salad with olive oil. An afternoon snack could be a small handful of peanuts or almonds. Dinner could be baked salmon with steamed vegetables. Those kinds of choices will move your niacin intake in the right direction while delivering a range of other protective nutrients. A practical note about niacin supplements. One well-known effect is the niacin flush, a warm, tingling sensation with temporary redness of the skin. It's not dangerous for most people, but it can be uncomfortable and alarming if you haven't experienced it before. If you consider a supplement, start the conversation with your clinician. High-dose niacin taken for specific medical reasons should be supervised by a doctor because it can affect the liver and interact with other treatments. Do not begin high-dose regimens on your own. Niacin is the headline nutrient here, but it's far from the only vitamin that matters for vessel and brain health. 3 more deserve short, practical attention: vitamin C, vitamin K, and vitamin E. Each helps in a different way, and together they create a food-first strategy that supports circulation and the cells that depend on it. Vitamin C is well known as an antioxidant, but its role in maintaining blood vessels is also crucial. Vitamin C helps make collagen, a structural protein that keeps the walls of small blood vessels, capillaries, intact. Strong capillaries resist leaks and maintain healthy microcirculation, which is critical for tiny brain regions. Vitamin C also helps neutralize oxidative stress that damages both vessels and neurons. Top food sources include citrus fruits, kiwi, strawberries, bell peppers, and leafy greens. One practical tip: adding a kiwi or a small bowl of strawberries to breakfast or a bell pepper to a salad covers a large portion of the vitamin C you need from food. Keep in mind, an upper safe limit for vitamin C from all sources is commonly discussed at around 2,000 milligrams per day. Exceeding that regularly can cause stomach upset and, in susceptible people, an increased risk of kidney stones. Stick mostly to food sources, and if you take high-dose supplements, discuss them with your clinician. Vitamin K plays a different but complementary role. It helps regulate clotting and also participates in pathways that can slow arterial calcification, the hardening that makes vessels less flexible. Foods rich in vitamin K include leafy greens such as kale, spinach, collard greens, and broccoli, plus Brussels sprouts and fermented foods. There's an important safety note here. If you take blood thinners such as warfarin or similar anticoagulants, do not drastically change your vitamin K intake without medical guidance. The key for people on these medications is consistency. You don't need to avoid vitamin K foods, and in fact, these foods are nutritious. But sudden large increases or decreases in intake can alter the effectiveness of anticoagulants. Always coordinate dietary changes with your prescribing doctor. Vitamin E is an antioxidant that helps protect cell membranes from oxidative damage and has mild effects that can help blood vessels relax. Food sources include nuts and seeds, almonds, sunflower seeds, avocado, and healthy oils like extra virgin olive oil. The caution with vitamin E is that high supplemental doses can increase bleeding risk, especially if you are taking blood-thinning medications. Again, food first is the safest route. A small handful of nuts, a drizzle of olive oil on your salad, or mashed avocado on toast all add vitamin E along with beneficial fats. Putting this together, here's a practical daily plan you can try. Food first, simple, and oriented to circulation and brain health. Start your day with breakfast that includes niacin and vitamin C. 2 scrambled eggs with a side of fresh fruit. Try a kiwi or a small bowl of strawberries and a slice of whole grain toast. If eggs aren't your thing, swap in a can of tuna on whole grain crackers or a small bowl of fortified cereal with milk and sliced banana. Mid-morning, have a handful of nuts. Peanuts are especially rich in niacin, almonds deliver vitamin E, and they both give you a satisfying crunch that keeps blood sugar steady. For lunch, build a leafy green salad. Spinach or kale base, grilled chicken or salmon, cherry tomatoes and bell peppers, a sprinkle of seeds, and a dressing based on olive oil and lemon. That plate brings niacin, vitamin K, vitamin C, and healthy fats together. A practical brain-friendly snack: apple slices with a small spoon of peanut butter or a plain yogurt topped with berries. Dinner can center on fatty fish twice a week: salmon, mackerel, or tuna with a side of steamed broccoli and sweet potato or a mixed vegetable sauté. Fish provides niacin and omega-3 fats that further support vessel and brain function. A gentle daily habit you can adopt is a green smoothie that mixes several of these benefits into one glass. Here's a simple recipe you can adapt: a handful of kale or cabbage, 1 kiwi, 1 small apple or half a banana, a small knob of fresh ginger for flavor, a few mint leaves, a dash of cinnamon, and water or unsweetened nut milk. Blend until smooth. That single drink delivers vitamin K, vitamin C, fiber, and a bit of plant-based antioxidants, a practical step to add vegetables and fruit early in the day. If you want a structured short plan, try this 7-day micro-plan idea. Rotate between eggs, tuna, chicken, and salmon as primary proteins. Include a large serving of leafy greens at least once daily. Add fruit high in vitamin C to one meal. Include nuts as a daily snack, and use olive oil and avocado for healthy fats. These small, repeated choices will add up more than occasional supplement experiments. Before you feel ready to self-prescribe a stack of supplements, consider the safety picture. If you're on medications, particularly anticoagulants like warfarin, you need a medical conversation before changing your diet substantially or adding supplements, especially vitamin K, vitamin E, or high-dose niacin. For niacin, remember that over-the-counter supplements can cause flushing, and that prescription-strength niacin is sometimes used in medical settings under supervision because of potential liver effects and interactions. For vitamin C, avoid routinely exceeding the commonly cited upper limit of about 2,000 milligrams per day without medical advice. And for vitamin E, high supplemental doses raise bleeding concerns. The safe, effective, and evidence-respecting approach is food first, supplements only when a clinician advises them and monitors for side effects. When should you seek medical evaluation rather than just adjust diet and lifestyle? If you have persistent symptoms like ongoing numbness, a limb that's cold and discolored, wounds on your feet that won't heal, or leg pain that limits walking, see a clinician promptly. For memory concerns specifically, if forgetfulness is getting noticeably worse over weeks or months, interfering with daily tasks like medication management, finances, or driving, or if you or others notice sudden changes in thinking, seek evaluation sooner. A clinician can order tests that clarify circulation and brain function. Ankle brachial index, or Doppler ultrasound, can assess blood flow in the limbs and neck arteries. And standard blood tests can check cholesterol, blood sugar, vitamin levels, and inflammation markers. Cognitive screening tools can help determine whether memory loss is likely related to vascular issues, other medical problems, or neurodegenerative causes, and that determines the best next steps. A few quick practical answers to common questions you might be wondering about. What does a niacin flush feel like? It's usually a sudden warmth across the face and chest, sometimes a prickly feeling and redness that fades in an hour or less. It's uncomfortable, but typically not dangerous for most people. If you experience persistent or severe symptoms after a supplement, stop and consult your clinician. Should you rely on supplements or food? Food first. Supplements can be useful if a healthcare provider identifies a deficiency or a specific need, but they're not the first line for prevention. If you take warfarin or similar medications, how should you handle vitamin K? Maintain a consistent intake of vitamin K-rich foods and coordinate any intentional changes with the clinician who manages your anticoagulation. Can vitamin E help prevent memory loss? Vitamin E has antioxidant roles that may be supportive, but high supplemental doses carry bleeding risk and should only be considered under medical guidance. Alongside vitamins and food, lifestyle habits strongly influence circulation and brain health. Regular physical activity, even daily brisk walks, helps maintain vessel flexibility and improves blood flow to the brain. Controlling blood pressure and blood sugar, quitting smoking, limiting excessive alcohol, maintaining healthy weight, keeping cholesterol in check, getting good sleep, and staying mentally and socially active all contribute to memory resilience. These habits work together with vitamins and nutrients to create real, durable benefit. Let me close with a calm and practical summary. Poor circulation can be one of the contributors to memory slips, and addressing it is a realistic, food-first task. Niacin, vitamin B3, stands out as the vitamin most directly tied to both vessel health and neuronal support. It can help improve blood flow dynamics and the cellular energy pathways neurons rely on. Complementing niacin with vitamin C, vitamin K, and vitamin E through a balanced diet supports vessel integrity, limits oxidative stress, and helps preserve the flexible plumbing your brain needs. Prioritize whole foods: eggs, lean poultry, fatty fish, leafy greens, citrus and berries, nuts, and olive oil. Use a simple daily pattern: a fruit and egg breakfast, a salad lunch with lean protein, nuts for snacks, and fish or lean meat at dinner. And add a green smoothie if it fits your routine. If you notice alarm signs of poor circulation, or if memory problems are progressing or interfering with daily life, see a clinician. Tests like Doppler imaging or ankle brachial index measurements, along with basic blood work and cognitive screening, can guide safe, effective steps. And if you're on anticoagulants or other chronic medications, don't change your diet or start supplements without talking to the provider managing those medicines. If this message felt useful, save it and share it with someone who's been forgetting small things lately. Talk with your doctor about whether these food choices or a personalized supplement plan are appropriate for you. Small, steady habits can protect both the vessels that feed your brain and the memories you care about. And you don't have to wait to start.